Hello there, it's Tanya Gabrielle, Wealth Astronumerologist. Welcome to Star Codes, the podcast where we look at an upcoming event in the astrology and numerology, the forecast to help you navigate the energies as best you can. In this case, it's the beautiful Leo new moon on August 4th. This is such a gorgeous lunation, and it comes on the heels of some incredibly intense energy in July, which we've covered in the last few Star Codes podcasts. So I'm so happy to share this with you. So this new moon happens at 12 degrees on August 4th at 12:13 p.m. Universal Time, which is 7:13 a.m. Eastern Time and 4:13 a.m. Pacific Time. And you don't have to be a Leo to benefit from this forecast. You have Leo somewhere in your astrology birth chart. So this new moon with the sun and moon at 12 degrees Leo is happening somewhere in one of the 12 houses in your chart, probably making aspects to some of your planets. So Leo is all about fun, entertainment, creativity, being on stage, children, being childlike, being spontaneous, being passionate, having great enthusiasm, and Leo is ruled by the sun. So in astrology, Leo rules the fifth house of romance and children and all the other things I mentioned. So it's very exciting. It's a really lovely time of the year when we have the Leo new moon, especially one like this year, because it only makes positive, beautiful, harmonious aspects. That means connections with other planets. So this new moon is also going to calm down the Mercury retrograde, which begins just hours later on August 5th. And I'll be making the next Star Codes podcast on that very potent Mercury retrograde, which begins in its own sign, Virgo, its sign of exaltation, which is actually really positive as well. So this Mercury retrograde will be entering Leo in mid-August. So the new moon in Leo on the 4th, hours before the Mercury retrograde begins, is really setting the stage in a happy way. So, like I said, there's some beautiful connections. First of all, the sun and moon are sextile to Jupiter, and that really enhances opportunities. Jupiter is one of two benefics, Venus being the other benefic, so it brings many blessings, happiness, abundance, flow in general, and anything to do with expansion. So you may dive into a new course of study because Jupiter also governs higher learning. You may enhance your life in other ways. And so you are really setting yourself up, especially with the Mercury retrograde coming hours later, to go within, learn, discover, and reap some amazing results. And that is always what we are looking for. Now, to help with this self-awareness, self-education, self-growth theme is the fact that the new moon happens at 12 degrees in Leo. And 12 in numerology is the number of the eternal student. And that means you're always going to be learning. You never stop with that process of discovery and self-awareness and self-growth, which is a good thing, because if we get stuck, what do we have to look forward to if we're not growing? If a plant doesn't grow, it dies, right? So this number 12 helps with that. Now 12 is also on the flip side, on the shadow side, about being a victim, being taken advantage of. So just watch around this time of the new moon if you are putting yourself in a position where others are taking advantage of you, and make a change. This is a good opportunity to do that, especially with this beautiful sextile to Jupiter. So other transits. The sun and moon are sextile to Mars. Mars and Jupiter are actually together in Gemini right now, and they're forming a conjunction which will be exact a few days later in August. So when the moon and sun sextile Mars, there's greater emotional focus, direction, your instincts are strong, your courage is strong, you have this inner fire to get things done. It's wonderful for enterprising small successes. It's a time for passion and creativity and tremendous forward momentum and having a goal and moving forward towards the goal, new beginnings, because Mars rules Aries, the first sign. And so this is really lovely energy. And Mars and Jupiter, as I said, are in Gemini. and Gemini is ruled by Mercury. And a few hours later, Mercury stations retrograde in Virgo, its other sign. So there's a lot of really beautiful, wonderful energy in play now. Like I said, such a blessing after the intensity of most of July. And again, if you combine this with Jupiter's sextile to the sun and moon, you feel recognized at soul level. There's something regarding gifts that come your way, or your gifts being acknowledged, your gifts being expressed in a beautiful way. It's wonderful for negotiations as well, and just trusting that there are miracles in play at this time. So let's look at a couple other transits that don't involve the sun and moon. One is that Venus is exactly quincunx to Neptune. Quincunx is 150 degrees, and they're both at 29 degrees. Neptune in its own sign of Pisces, and 29 degrees Pisces is the final degree of the zodiac, because it's the final sign and the final degree of the final sign. That's a potent degree. And Venus is at 29 degrees in Leo, and this is a Leo new moon. So this is actually an important connection happening on final degrees of signs. And with Leo and Pisces in play, it's very much about love. Pisces is unconditional love. Leo is romantic love. So you're searching for this beautiful sense of spiritual loving that's beyond the ordinary, that uplifts you, that inspires you financially as well. You can make some really good investments or commitments to partnerships now. You can really see people's potential, and you definitely want to spend some time with finances if that is something that you want to take a look at and enhance, because this is a good time to do that, especially with that sextile to Jupiter from the sun and moon at the same time. We also have Neptune sextile Pluto. Now this is an ongoing transit that is literally happening on June 5th, 2029, but they're so slow moving that they are within 2 degrees for many years. So this is basically a huge celebration of being unafraid to go against the grain and really allowing yourself to be inspired by truth and feeling a connection to an evolutionary shift on Earth. So this is going on from 2022 through 2034, and we're in the midst of it now, and it's activated pretty consistently at this time. Uranus is sextile Neptune. This is also a long multi-year transit. It's exact in 2025, but it is being felt now, Uranus sextile Neptune, and that is all about a spiritual awakening. Overall, you can understand your connection to the universe, and it enhances your creativity. It focuses on compassion and humanitarian service and everything related to Uranian and Neptunian themes. So it's very exciting to have these two sextiles being consistently activated now. And finally, we have Jupiter square Saturn. That creates an inner tension to help you break down long-held beliefs which are holding you back. You know, they're limiting you somehow, and Saturn square Jupiter allows you to break free from those, and you're helped immensely if you take more responsibility for your personal growth. In general, this is a wonderful time to just move forward and let go of bygones, beliefs that are not helping you. In general, Jupiter square Saturn is a very important connection. These are the two middle planets, right? We have the super slow moving planets, the Uranus, the Neptune, the Chiron, the Pluto, and then we have the personal planets, which are Sun, Moon, Venus, Mercury, and Mars. And then in between are Jupiter and Saturn, and they form a very important relationship. So this square is actually really helpful for getting down to what is it you want? What is it you want to focus more in terms of growth, in terms of self-awareness, in terms of exploring your life in general, the timing of things. And since Jupiter governs travel, it's also a great time to look at traveling and taking that time, making some plans. And the best way to make good travel plans is through your own astrocartography, so you can discover and know the best places to go, the places that actually support you, right? Where your astrology map is superimposed on the world and you see where the really fortunate places are to travel. But you need to know more than just your main lines, which is what most people do online. And I have a free astrocartography class for you that you can watch at positivelocations.com, and it goes into that common mistake that people make when they just look up their lines and think they have the answers. They don't. You need to know a lot more. We'll cover the 5 critical components that actually make up your astrocartography and impact love and money and health and career, and the secret power of place in general, plus the relocated chart. That's super important for everywhere you travel. And of course, lots of celebrity examples that you'll really, get a kick out of and that help you to see the importance of knowing your astrocartography. So you can get instant access at positivelocations.com. Enjoy that free masterclass. Have a beautiful Leo new moon. And I look forward to seeing you in our next podcast episode when we look at Mercury retrograde. Lots of love.